The program you've just seen shows that the new Holden Ute is a pretty special machine. And a lot of people, both Holden dealers and Australian car buyers alike, are pretty happy that Australia's own Ute is back. But no matter how beaut the new Ute is, it's not going to sell itself. Well, almost not. So here's some additional product ammunition, plus a few facts and figures to fire off at prospective Holden Ute customers. After all, we haven't sold a new Holden Ute in over 6 years, so it's worth discussing who is best suited to this kind of vehicle. In fact, before we take a look at the new Holden Ute up against the Ford Falcon Utility, let's take a nostalgic look at the Holden WB Ute. A lot of people have really missed the WB, and when researching the new Holden Ute with consumer groups, one of the most asked questions was if the new Ute was as tough as the WB. Well, the answer is no. It's tougher. On top of that, the Holden 3.8 V6 delivers 53% more power than the 3.3 straight 6 of the WB. A 5-speed manual transmission is standard instead of the old 3-speed, together with a 4-speed auto option instead of the previous 3-speed auto. Power steering is standard too, along with 4-wheel disc brakes and progressive rate coil spring suspension. This gives the Holden Ute truck-like versatility while retaining car-like ride and handling. The new Holden Ute also takes 17.5% more payload volume than the WB. So, when compared with the previous model, this is streets ahead. They mean it when they say this is the largest and most powerful Holden Ute ever built. But the main rival to the new Holden Ute is undoubtedly the Ford Falcon Utility. Now, considering that the XF Falcon hasn't changed all that much since the WB left the scene, the competitive comparison with the new Holden Ute is going to sound pretty much the same as the WB. In the model stakes, both sides are fairly evenly matched. Ford have the Falcon STD Ute and GLS Ute. Holden offer the base model Holden Ute and Holden Ute S. Ford also offer an STD level panel van utility, while Holden envisage dealer or third-party custom panel van conversions of either Ute model will better cater for that market. Ford offer the 4.1 litre straight 6-cylinder engine with a standard carburettor. This engine has been around for nearly 10 years. Holden offer the renowned 3.8 litre multi-point fuel-injected V6. This engine made its debut in 1988 with a triple award-winning VN Commodore. Holden also offered the option of the exciting 5-litre PFI V8 engine on the S model. Ford don't even begin to compare with this. The Ford 4.16 generates 97 kilowatts of power at 3,600 RPM with 297 newton metres of torque at 2,000 RPM. The Holden 3.8 V6 comes on strong with 127 kilowatts at 4,800 RPM and 288 newton metres at 3,200 RPM. That's 23% more power from the Holden Ute. Translate that into a 0 to 100 standoff between two empty Utes. 8.2 seconds for the Holden, 14.5 for the Ford. Imagine this comparison with the new V8 S model. Fuel economy is another advantage for the new Holden Ute. The 3.8 V6 with a manual transmission delivers 12 litres per 100 kilometres in the city and 8 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway. The figures for those vehicles with a fuel-efficient 4-speed automatic are less than 10% greater. The Ford 4.1, on the other hand, is a much older design, naturally carburetted engine. It's been around the block a few times. While its fuel figures may have been great in their day, it's now delivering a lot less power and performance for the money. The Falcon Utility comes with a 3-speed column shift manual as standard, with the option of a 3-speed column automatic. The GLS offers a 5-speed manual on the floor or a 3-speed T-bar auto. The Holden Ute, 5 on the floor or optional column shift 4-speed auto with the option of a T-bar auto 4 on the S. Power steering is standard for the Holdens, only on the Falcon GLS. 4-wheel discs on the Holden, front discs, rear drums on the Falcon. The Holden Ute's braking performance is further enhanced by the load-sensing proportioning valve. Both the Holden Ute S and Ford GLS models offer a limited slip differential as standard. In the rear suspension stakes, there is a sharp contrast that could generate a little competitive heat. Falcon Utilities feature old-fashioned leaf springs, whereas the engineers at Holden have gone for the superior ride and handling of progressive rate coil springs. In the cabin and seating arena, both vehicles are fairly evenly matched for features. Though being based on the new VN Commodore as opposed to the dated X-Series Falcon, the Holden is much more modern and stylish. In practically every interior dimension, the Holden offers the same or more room than the Falcon. After all, the Holden benchmark is the WB, and the WB was always much bigger than the Ford. But in the back, the utility section of the Utes, Holden wins hands down. As you've seen, Holden wins the black box test for being able to fit the biggest square object into the back, and that's saying something. The deck length is longer and with greater load depth below the rim, and that adds up to 15.5% more payload volume in the new Holden Ute than the Falcon. So, in the front, the middle and the back, the Holden Ute triumphs over the Ford Falcon utility. There's just no comparison. Just ask yourself, could you honestly compare a 10-year-old car with a new design? Well, that's just about the comparison between the new Holden Utes and the Falcon utility. Chalk and cheese. For over 6 years, Ford had the six-cylinder passenger Utes seen all to themselves. With the launch of the new Holden Utes, that's all history. As the Holden Ute is an exciting new vehicle and our first passenger-derived Ute since 1984, many of the Ute prospects visiting your showroom in the coming months will have been stimulated by its launch. However, one thing all automotive companies must avoid when launching a new product is to cannibalise sales from within its own range. With the outstanding features of the new VG Ute, demand will undoubtedly be high. Yet as good as the Ute is, it will not suit the needs of every customer. This is why it is so important to be able to qualify the prospect's needs between the Holden Ute and its Holden stablemate, the Rodeo. An understanding of this will ensure you generate plus business for you and your dealership. Additionally, recommending to your prospects the correct vehicle for their needs will help ensure customer satisfaction, a very important requirement for referrals and repeat business. So let's compare the Holden Ute to the Holden Rodeo in order to help you better position these vehicles and ensure maximum sales. The VG Ute and Rodeo are obvious class leaders in their respective markets. Each is designed to satisfy different market needs and applications, with both offering distinct advantages over the competition. The exercise in comparing the Holden Ute to the Holden Rodeo is made easier by identifying the Rodeo Space Cab as the next in line in the Holden range to the utility. But before we start, remember that prospects do not always know what type of vehicle is best suited to their work needs. The Rodeo range has a choice of 4-cylinder light truck engines, from the naturally aspirated 2.5 litre and 2.8 litre turbo diesels to the 2.6 litre multi-point fuel injection petrol engines. In total, 18 variants, all intended for hard work, and a range of body styles to suit various applications. Firstly, the Holden Ute is a less than 3/4 tonne utility derivative of a passenger vehicle, the VN Commodore, with 2 feature and engine levels. The Rodeo Space Cab has a tough truck chassis accompanied with all-round gas pressurised shock absorbers. This enables Rodeo to carry a 1-tonne load with ease. It is also available with 4-wheel drive to suit specific customer applications. The Rodeo Space Cab is a workhorse, complemented by plenty of workspace and comfort, including the extra room behind the front seats for storing luggage and valuables securely inside the cabin. The Holden Ute is a personal transport vehicle suited for work. A variation on a family-sized sedan in much the same way as a station wagon. The Ute has a high-performance V6 or V8 engine best suited for cruising and lighter work. The Space Cab has a 2.6 litre multi-point fuel-injected petrol engine intended for hard work. In summary, the Holden Ute is a vehicle providing power and a car-like ride. The Rodeo is like a small truck, offering significant interior comfort. There may be some Rodeo prospects that will be attracted to the Holden Ute because of its sportier, more powerful appeal. Yet, as you have just seen, there are differences between the two vehicles and their applications. For best sales results, you should ensure you recommend the most suitable vehicle for each prospect's needs. Now, power doesn't translate directly into payload. The maximum payload on the Holden Ute is 720 kilograms. That includes everything you put in it, including driver, passengers, the lot. And maximum payload doesn't mean everything's okay with a scale sitting on 719. It means the maximum safe operational load. Any more and the stability of the vehicle is in danger. On the other hand, the Rodeo is designed to operate safely with loads half as heavy again. The old saying, horses for courses, is very apt in this case. If your prospect is looking more for a heavy-duty workhorse, Rodeo is their vehicle. Then again, if your prospect wants a vehicle mainly for personal transport and to occasionally have the flexibility to carry up to half a tonne in the back, then by all means steer them towards the Ute. Both Rodeo and Holden Ute are class-leading vehicles, and you now have a comprehensive light commercial range to sell. But don't forget that light commercial buyers will want accurate information from you, and you will have to ask specific questions about their individual needs. Understanding all this, you will maximise your gross earning potential. Let's look more closely at the two main buyer profiles for the Holden Ute. Once you've determined that your prospect is in the market for a Holden Ute and not a light commercial, it's a matter of deciding which level is right for them. Level 1, the base model Holden Ute, is aimed specifically at the fleet market. 7 out of 10 Ute purchases will be for base models, mainly in the metro areas, and a big majority of these sales will be for the construction trade and government fleets. When your Ute prospect is talking strictly business, they're talking bottom line. The purchaser probably isn't going to be the actual driver. Comfort and luxury aren't on the top of their list of priorities, but are still important considerations. After all, they have to keep their drivers happy. They want the most value for money. They want to know about performance, serviceability and resale values. The remaining 30% of Holden Ute purchases will be level 2, the S model. Most of these will be private buyers, mainly in the country. The person buying this Ute will usually also be the driver. This is where you will see the most V8 options, accessories and formula packs. The Holden Ute S will be a work vehicle during the weekdays and go to town at night. It will become the tradesman's sedan and the country sports car. While the rural sector isn't going to be the volume market, the Australian countryside is still the heartland of the Ute. And now that Australia's own Holden Ute is back, well, Australia's bound to be a happier place. Whether you're in the country or the city, interest in the Holden Ute and Holden Ute S is going to bring a lot of traffic in through the door. Welcome the Holden Ute back to town, bigger and better. Every man and his dog will love it.
Thanks, buddy.
The Holden Ute is back. Every man and his dog will love it.